So Mike Minter had a lot of praise for the Jackson State defense, even compared them to the college version of the '85 Bears. And he also talks about going against the Jackson State offense and pretty much scheming their defense into stopping the pass and not caring if they ran the ball so many times. They didn't want Jackson State to throw fades, the deep routes, none of that. And here's what he had to say.
That's what I can say. Great effort, I thought, by both football teams. The defense of both teams came out to play. A lot of hitting going on out there. I thought they had a great, trick play coming out of the third quarter that really separated the game was that play. But, when you make top 10 team go to the trick bags, you're playing some hell of a defense. And that's, great job by Coach Prime, man, to come into this program and in 2 years turn it into what it is today. Just great to be able to come here and play at homecoming. There was a thing that I wanted to do, and we was able to make that happen. Came up short. We played a top 25 team early in the year. We lost by 16. We played a top 10 team today on the road, and we lost by 8. We're getting to where we need to get to, because these games like this is how it is in the playoffs, and we'll be in the playoffs. With that, any questions?
Coach, what did you see to make you go for it on a fake punt?
Well, it's really film work, right? And you see a certain look that you like, and you go for that. And he was open. It wasn't like he wasn't open, right? The punter did he's a punter, not a quarterback, right? He had to find him, and but it was a deal where we saw in film that we thought we could take advantage of that.
Coach, at the end of the first half, Jackson State had not converted on third down. They had converted on fourth down, but not on third down. What was the difference in between the first half and what you saw in the second half?
Well, I mean, if you look at the second half, they just got rolling, man. That third quarter seemed like it was forever, and they had to win because we wanted to win in the fourth quarter, and they really took advantage of that in the third quarter. So I think most of what they was getting done was in that third quarter. But again, you look at the 7 points, it was a rollout, bootleg, throwback, and that's what it was. So other than that, I thought they was constantly moving the ball, but they wasn't putting points on the board, and that you give yourself a chance. They did a hell of a job on defense. But I told everybody they was like the '85 Bears. They thought I was just playing. They thought I was doing some chess moves and just talking them up. Man, look, I know football. When I watch football, I'm gonna tell you the truth, and I'm gonna tell you what they are. And that's this football team on defense. Because we got a heck of an offense, man, and they was in our backfield all night, all day long.
Coach, specifically in the second half, what did Jackson State's defensive line do to kind of slow down your rushing attack? I think you finished with less than 40 rushing yards there in the second half.
Well, they was blitzing. They blitzed every rundown, and if you do that, then you got to hold up outside, and then so your receivers got to make plays to soften people up. And we wasn't able to get separation all the time in a consistent manner. So stop the run. You gotta send 8 to the box, and that's what they were doing. When you first start a game, you got to feel each other out, man. So you're not going to be all aggressive at that point. They get into halftime, they kind of see how the game is going, and then they say, okay, let's kind of pressure them on first and second down on their rundowns to try to stop this run from getting started and get them behind the sticks so we can get them in third and long situations. And that's really what you saw in the second half.
Coach, can you talk about, you held them 3 times inside the red zone and forced them to kick field goals as opposed to, you had to feel proud of your defense.
Well, I mean, that's really where the game is won and lost, is in the red zone. If you can make teams kick field goals or 0 points, you're going to have an opportunity to win the football game. And that's why we were still in the game, is because we made those guys kick field goals, man. And the game is about red zone. And, defense did a heck of a job forcing Sanders to run around and try to make plays with his legs. That's what we wanted to do.
Coach, specifically with those back here,
Yes.
David State from CBS here in Jackson. Specifically with what your defense was able to do to get the interception in the end zone and things like that, like what were you guys seeing in the Jackson offense that let them read it so well?
Well, again, they want to throw the football. And what we was going to do is we're going to set on the receivers and make them run the football. That's really what we wanted to do all game. That was our plan because, you know, you put it in Shadur's hands, man, quit it. I'm going to make somebody else beat me, not that guy. And so that was the plan, okay? And, you know, we was fortunate enough to be able to make them plays in the red zone because the field get cramped down. Now we're not worried about the deep ball, and I can set on your receivers and play routes at that point. And that's what we was able to do, and that's why every time they was down there, what was he doing? He was scrambling. He was running because that's what he had to do in order to try to make a play.
Coach, what's it like just as a former NFL player to, you know, not only go up against Coach Prime, but seeing everything he's doing HBCU football and just seeing, you know, former players like yourself kind of get back to the game in this way to players, you know, in college. What's that like just having that?
Well, I mean, that's our purpose. I think that's why God give us the opportunity to do what we do in our history to be able to give back. And I think that's very important that people understand that God has never given you blessings for you. He's given it for you to give back to other people. And that's what we're doing. So we able to do it through football. Teach these young men about who they are as people so they can then grow up to be great young men and great leaders, you know, in their community. And that's what it's all about. So it's fun to see Coach Prime doing it. It's fun to see Eddie George over there doing it. And, you know, so many of us are getting that opportunity to